Hey man, just dug it out.
Welcome back to another episode of the Thug It Out podcast. I'm your host, Farhan. And for those of you who are brand new listeners, and also just a refresher for the returning listeners, this podcast, the Thug It Out podcast, will be an exploration of the men's mental health crisis, particularly in the populations of young adults. And it's basically a podcast made by young adults about young adults, not for young adults specifically. It's for anybody willing to listen and learn about kind of the psyche of the young adults in this country and beyond. And today I have with me the future co-host, my boy Sabab from the Sandbox. And basically, I guess we're gonna start off with the most important question of this entire podcast. Have you been thugging out?
Yo, what's good, guys? This your boy Babson right here, aka Sabab. Feel me? I feel like my son, your host here, Farhan, he could have done a better job. Be a little bit more enthusiastic with
Oh,
my
you're right. You're
intro.
right. No. I know what I needed to do. I know what I need to. I should have started with Assalamu alaikum, bro.
Where type shit. Now you facts, bro. Now you gotta get the energy popping. You feel me, bro?
Yeah, that's why
Yeah,
I have
but
you.
OD, bro. Uh, in this podcast, the dynamic about to be, we got the serious dude right here. That's gonna be Farhan. I'm gonna be like the funny dude. You feel me? That's about to be me type shit. And so yeah, let me tell you a little about myself. So I'm currently a fourth year student in college, about to graduate this year, and I go to school in Rochester, so I'm not really located in the city. Although I've been in the city for the past year, though. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, of course, I was born and raised. You know, not born type shit. But I came here when I was like a month old, so I guess you could say like I was basically born here. You feel me?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I grew up in the city and everything like that. And your host here said, interesting question. Have I been thugging it out? And I feel like you could say that. You could say I've been thugging it out. You feel me?
So, has it been like a good or bad experience? Do you personally believe it's a good or bad experience? Just like in general for the past, however long you have been thugging it out. Because at least the message of this podcast is don't thug it out, right? Let's discuss, let's have conversations, let's have dialogues because at least for all the for you right now and for all the future guests that are listening, right? Basically we're going to explore this topic by uncovering some of the uncertainties surrounding our day-to-day lives and basically the things that are within our domain and are out of it. And so basically that's the flexibility of this podcast. And so I want you, like, so Bob, I want you to tell your story kind of. I'm not here to tell you what you need to say, right? And of course I'm gonna prompt you with questions and stuff like that, but you have free reign to talk about whatever and whoever you want to talk about, right? And I'll match that energy. I'll move along with the vibe that you bring. So yeah, you gave it like a nice little introduction about yourself. You know, so like expand on the thugging it out. Like, what particular parts of your life have you been um kind of where you kind of had to suppress, I guess, and move along with your day? You have to thug it out because it's necessary to just go along with your life.
I got you. I got you, man. So what I really want to focus on right now is the year I spent in New York City. So so I did my first 2 years of college within in Rochester and everything like that. And bear in mind, my school is it's not like I have to pay a lot, but I still have to pay because I still got some scholarships and shit like that. But
Yeah.
um, but the third year, I had to go on some like my school has a program. It's called co-op program, and I have to do like a year's worth of co-op to like actually get my degree. And I was fortunate enough to get a co-op in New York City, so I was actually able to come back to New York City because I fucking hate Rochester. I'm gonna be honest with you right now. you know,
That's a scathing review of
New York
Rochester.
City, yeah, exactly. Where New York City, where it's at, man. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere else be dead, man. But yeah, so I got to come back to New York and everything like that. But me coming back to New York, it brought on its own set of challenges because for New York is a really expensive city, right? Yeah, my parents, like we have a crib here and shit.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna be honest with you, my parents this like the year I came back, they ended up selling this the like the grocery store that my parents ran, right?
Yeah, let's
And
let's
my
talk
dad,
about that. You said like coming back to the city was like very different, or like it felt refreshing after your 2 years in Rochester, right? So like,
yeah,
how what made like what was the refreshing aspect about it? Like you grew up in this. Both of us grew up in the city together. I mean, we've
yeah,
known each other since pre-K, so we're
uh-huh.
like literally from the sandbox, right? We're like brothers, and I feel like we've had similar experiences, but our paths kind of diverged after elementary school. We went our separate ways for the most part, at least, and we really got like back kind of close together thanks to the pandemic. I guess like we weren't really talking that much, but the
Yo,
pandemic kind of
pandemic, I call that shit the pandemic, bro. We was getting money,
yeah,
bro. Stop
we can
playing,
address
bro.
that a little bit
Yo,
later. I don't know if you
his
want to
pimmy
address
was
it, but
hitting, bro.
but yeah, go. So like, talk to me about like growing up before you had to move out of the city for college.
So like my childhood, basically.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you
I
said it was
got you.
refreshing, right? Coming back after 2 years in
Yeah, of
Rochester.
course, man, of course. So I want to focus more on like my high school, like like going to high school. So I went to Brooklyn Tech, right? Like it's one of those like specialized high schools, but I'm gonna be honest with you, like the kids that went there were pretty special if you catch my drift.
I think I have a we have a future guest that might have a word to say about that. A different type of perspective on the word special. I think you might be using a different one, but
Tight shit. Yeah, man. But bro, like high school was pretty much a movie, bro, because like the amount of shit, because you got the energy, you young and stupid, you could basically do whatever the fuck you want. Like you feel like you could do whatever the fuck you want and face no consequences and shit. Yeah, I kept my grades up in school, or at least I tried to, you know what I'm saying? And I made like I had my little like friend group and everything like that, and we would like that ass like after school, we would hit the deli, get some eats, then we would go to like BBP, play some ball, play some soccer,
what's
just chill.
BVP?
Brooklyn Bridge Park.
All right,
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
like there's just
So
some terms, like I
yeah,
know what the
you're right.
terms
Yeah,
are.
yeah. Just let me know. Let me know.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah. But so we'd hit like BBP and shit. Sometimes we just chill. Like there was like a little park right outside our school. We call that shit Triangle. You feel me?
Hmm.
Everybody just chill there. Like we would chill there and everything. And other times we just get eats and go home. You feel me? But and then within class itself, bro, class itself was pretty lit, especially when you had your boys in that shit. Like that shit wasn't even class, bro. That shit was just like just a comedy, bro. Every fucking day, like you see your boys, your mood will light up. You feel me? And you're
Yeah, I
like,
mean
yo,
in high
today about to
school
be a bad
you
day.
don't really have a recess, right? But recess is whatever you make it out to be
That
in
ass,
high
bro.
school, you
Reset
know?
that ass is yeah. You see your boy, you know it's about to be a lit day. You know what I'm saying? Class about to be lit, and in our high school we had pretty much of like a what do you say, like a chill phone policy, so you could that ass be on your phone and shit while you like in class. The teachers wouldn't really say nothing. So I remember one time in 10th grade, y'all already met Hivanch and everything, but what we did was
Oh no, no,
we
no.
played like,
I don't know. They didn't meet you. Your episode 2.
oh shit,
I mean, it's
okay.
cool though. Well, yeah, and I guess it's a good
My
way for the
fault. My
co-host to
fault.
introduce a future
My
guest.
fault. I'm
He's
getting
getting ahead of
too ahead of
himself right now.
myself. Yeah, my fault. That's my fault. My fault, guys. But okay, you guys will meet Hivansh, right? Hivansh and I went to the same school, and we had chemistry class together, right? And during chem class, even during chem lab, at this time, like Clash Royale was like it was making a comeback, and all we would do is like just play fucking Clash Royale all the time, bro. You know what I'm saying? Granted, I wasn't that good, but like still, just playing Clash Royale with your boys and shit and not doing any work was pretty lit, bro. You feel me? And
That was
then
life before responsibilities, right?
OD facts, bro. And then That's the thing, man. High school, you had no responsibilities, bro. After getting to college, had to start paying for my tuition. I ended up buying a car. Had to start paying my car payments and everything like that. And then once I came back to New York City, it was my responsibility to start paying rents and all the bills and stuff like that that came with it. Like, man, it just reality just hit me like a like a brick, bro. Like
And that's why
I
I
went
chose
from
you as a co-host. It's like a nice, like, contrasting dynamic because all the things you mentioned just now, I pretty much have none of that to worry about, at least for the time being.
nah,
Which in
don't
and
worry, bro.
itself is a,
You gonna have to worry about it soon, bro. Your time coming, bro. Don't worry about it.
I know,
You gonna love
but
it, trust me, bro.
but like, yeah, I'm just saying, yeah. Even though we grew up pretty much together side by side in parallel, our lives definitely, diverged quite a bit after high school. I mean, you were gonna say about responsibilities and paying all these things, and so do you feel like you've taken on those responsibilities well? Do you think you've taken it in stride, or has it been something like a steep learning curve?
Nah, it's definitely been a steep learning curve, man. Like for so all of a sudden, like, I had all of these expenses to pay for, and I'm not making enough money. Like, yo, I'm in a deficit, like in my budget. And at the time, I really didn't know how to manage money properly. Every time I got paid, I was just blowing on some dumb shit, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And yo, like once I started realizing that, yo, these bills they piling up, like I didn't miss my payments. It's just like, yo, I'm kind of struggling to make my payments. You know what I'm saying? Like once I start paying all my bills, I have no money left over, like as a savings or like to put away, like buy some stuff that I actually want, like for myself or treat myself right. And it really forced me to start like managing my money properly and budgeting, man. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I also had to get multiple jobs. So I would work full time during the day, and as a side hustle, like after work, I would do like deliveries on Uber Eats and shit. And with both of those combined, like I would make enough to like live comfortably, pay rent, pay my bills, save up for tuition and everything like that. It really I would really say like having all of these financial responsibilities, it made me grow up fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like so I definitely would know like how to handle myself going forward. Like I would say I'm not relying on my parents at all like that anymore. If I'm being honest with you,
Do you
I
miss the
became like
feeling of being reliant on your parents though?
so. I mean, it's a hit or miss. I would say. On one hand, you could say that my parents have no financial control over me, so I could do whatever I want, right? But on the other hand, if they were paying for all of my stuff and they were financially supporting me, it would ease the stress like a lot.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right now, like dealing with all of this stuff, like sometimes it gets me stressed out. It's like,
Yeah.
damn, I have all these bills to pay. I gotta save up for my future and all that stuff. Like even now, like I gotta save up like for tuition, but even like a couple years down the line, let's say I gotta buy a crib or I gotta get married, like that stuff is not cheap, you know.
Yeah.
So sometimes it do keep me up at night. I'm not gonna lie. But if I had that financial support, it wouldn't be like that, from my parents and stuff. But I can't really ask for my like money from my parents either because they don't got it like that either.
Yeah.
The plan is we're gonna be the breadwinners and we're gonna start supporting the family. We're gonna start bringing in the 6 7 figures and then
But is
give
that
the
a
parent.
realistic expectation? Like you like personally, I believe that's not that at least immigrant parents, right? They will never outwardly say to you that we
They
need
want
you,
the
we need
money.
your help to like retire us, right? They
Of
will never
course, yeah, no,
outwardly
of
say
course
that,
they would
right?
never.
Because it's
Yeah,
like,
they have
and
an
at least
ego
in the
problem.
in
Their
the South
pride,
Asian psyche, it's like, yeah, you're too proud to ask for help, right?
one
But the
hundred
thing the
percent.
thing is though, like, if you internalize that idea in your own like psychology, I guess, like, does that hurt you? Like, what happened? Like, do you ever think, like, this career, if it doesn't work out, how will I retire them? Like, for example, like, let's do a background of your career. I mean, recently you told me that, like, there's some good news in relation to the job market and the the job, like, prospects for your
Yeah,
specific field, which is, of course, which is how about you do the introduction? Yeah, what do you
yeah. I
say?
mean, so I'm majoring in civil engineering, and so currently we are one of the like lowest paid engineering majors out there, but that also so that means that there's not too many of us out there, but there's always construction, there's always demand for us, and eventually and now like the market is basically correcting itself. A lot of industry wide, a lot of private companies, they're starting to raise their salaries, starting salaries by like 15, 20 grand. I'm seeing in some places, and it's hopefully, it's going to become like industry wide, including public sector, and more people would be incentivized to actually become and study civil engineering,
Hmm.
and that's my plan as well. So hopefully, hopefully after I got like my PE license and everything like that, I become an actual like professional engineer. I'll start making six figures and start living comfortably. And even before that, like I could still definitely make like starting salary like 70, like 80K, something like that. Because the company I'm currently working at, that's what they start at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, like at least for a majority of the people that I go to school with, that I go to college with, a lot of them, at least from my conversation with them, they're worried about future job prospects and stuff like that. But obviously that's skewed. It's like a biased
I mean,
observation
I would say
because
yeah, it
yeah, because
definitely
computer
depends.
science kids are always gonna be doom and
Yo,
gloom
CS
about
is
the future.
fucked, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Yo,
I'm not gonna lie,
whoever doing
CS.
CS, y'all fucked, bro. That's a real
Yeah,
shit. Y'all gotta really
well,
start stretching out, bro. Start
I
pulling out your hair, bro.
I mean, yeah, it's okay, but like the CS, if you see this on like social media platforms like TikTok, right? You have like an oversaturation of CS mentors, like quote unquote CS mentors, the ones that are telling you what you need to have on your resume, what you need to have this
Where I
on
can name
like
a couple, bro. I can name a
yeah, I can
couple.
name a couple too, right? But some viewers might not be not be too happy when hearing these names.
Oh
But
yeah.
in that like same in that same vein, I guess, what are your kind of like you're civil, right? But there's not too many like civil engineering mentors. I mean, I guess, but I don't know how you would differentiate between engineering disciplines. To be honest, like when it comes to what your advice is for those who are currently pursuing engineering or who plan to pursue engineering, like you obviously got a nice job, right? But that was through the program of your school, right? But if there's
I mean,
anything
if
you've
I'm being
learned,
honest with you, anybody could really like get like if you actually put in the effort, right? Anybody could get their own co-op or internship. It's just my school, they just happen to throw like a job fair,
and
or
what
they
do you mean
happen
by the effort? Like go
so
into that. What do you mean?
so by that I mean like you should be more proactive, right? You should go out on online and everything, because the internet is a huge resource right here. You could look up like legit co-ops, co-ops like available in the summer, fall, spring, whatever you're trying to do, or even internships. And one thing I have to say is like, you have to do everything on your own, bro. You feel me? Like you could
Yeah.
never rely, like even on your school, bro. You could be paying a fucking 100 grand a year. All your like, you know what I'm saying? Like all you're fucking paying for is a piece of paper at the end of the day. Your school, like that shit, they don't give a fuck about you. I'll be honest with you. All the way they look at you is like you just a wallet for them. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So a lot of the times you have to do shit on your own. You have to find shit on your own. But I would say I just got lucky,
Hmm.
that my advisor just happened to know somebody who was able to like hook me up with a job and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I mean, would you
So
consider that luck? To be honest, you stepped out of your comfort zone to go and speak to your advisor, like, strike up a conversation, ask, do you know anybody, somebody that could help me out with my civil. Like, that's still a skill. Like, your ability to talk to
to
others and stuff.
communicate with people,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, but listen, being having the ability to communicate with people, like it's a skill you need to have, if you especially if you want to actually like succeed
Make it
in.
in corporate and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. If you want to actually succeed within your career, you can't just be quiet all the time. You have to know how to talk with people. You know, this
Hmm.
is this is just a simple skill right there. So I wouldn't really say it was skill. More, I would say more it's more luck, because she just happened to know somebody. She could have just been like, oh, I don't really know anybody, or yeah, like I got nothing for you. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It was just bad luck that she actually knew somebody who had an open position, who was actually who wanted to hire me. I would say that.
I see.
Yeah.
And so like what anything like you've learned from at least from your job, right? That you've taken with you back to now you're fully a student, right? Full time a student.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So is there like anything you taken from that job that you can like apply to? Like do you think that if you
Bro, I'm
had the
gonna be
choice you
honest
would
with
just
you, bro.
continue
I'm gonna be
working?
honest with you. Whatever I learned in school is has nothing to do with what I do at my job. I'm gonna just straight up tell you that. Like, if you ask me, it's fuck school. I fucking hate school. On some real shit. But at the end, like like I might sound like a bad influence, but I'm not saying like don't go to school. I just say I don't fuck with school. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if you want that job, like an engineer, like especially for like civil engineering or electrical engineering, mechanical, aerospace, like shit
All the
like that.
engineering disciplines?
Basically, yeah, or like even doctors and shit. At the end of the day, you need that piece of paper because that's really what school is. Just your fucking degree. If you have your degree, you show your employer, future employer, and shit, and they can hire you. They're
Yeah,
really
so
not going.
yeah, basically
Exactly.
what you're saying is college is what you make of it. I mean, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
It's if you think about it, you're paying kind of $80,000 a year for some schools to have a glorified network. You go in, you find a
that
bunch of
has
people,
for
like-minded
what, bro?
individuals.
Like
No, but it's kind if you think about it, it's an easier way to meet like-minded individuals that you can build connections with. If you think about it, because college is it sifts all the people from the general population who want to pursue who have like a like-minded goal, which is pursuing a higher education, and puts them all underneath one roof. So if you think about it, like if obviously if you have the financial facilities to allow you to take part in that, it's a wonderful resource to like build a
of
career,
course,
right?
but I also want to add something. You have to actively seek out these opportunities because anybody can like not anybody can have money. But I'm saying the people in college, yeah, they're all in college and shit. But I would say
Mm-hmm.
at least like even like more than 50% of them don't actively go out and look for opportunities that their college actually offers. Like
Mm-hmm.
all these programs and stuff that the college offers. A lot of people, from what I personally noticed, again, I'm not trying to generalize anybody here, but what I personally notice is people just go to college, they just go to their classes. They're like, oh fuck, I gotta get this shit done, and like, oh, let me just get my degree. That's it. You know, that's not what I would really recommend. For me personally, fuck classes, bro. I hate that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's you're just learning random bullshit. I'm learning here. I'm fucking I'm trying to be an engineer here. They're making me take like philosophy class and other bullshit ass like electives, for what? Like for no reason, in my opinion at least. I get it. It's to be like a more of a well rounded person and shit. But I personally don't see the reason of taking all these useless classes. I would more focus on like you said, like all the networking opportunities and stuff like that. Try to use your college and take advantage of all the resources that it offers. Because again, you're paying for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Try to
Mm-hmm.
get the most for your buck, like the most bang for your buck, and make the college work for you, bro. Type
Mm-hmm.
shit. Yeah.
All right, so I mean that's one aspect. You got the financial and career aspect of the uncertainty surrounding that for a lot of young adults is definitely contributing to the negative effects, like the negative mental health effects. But another thing, like I kind of want to cover because. In my opinion, you're better at this than I am. Honestly, is social media and things like that. Things like that. Honestly, and I'm not talking just like
Yo,
um,
speaking of social media, bro, make sure y'all like
oh yeah, yeah. Peep, peep.
you put it
You'll
up
see
my
on the
handle,
thumbnail.
right?
Peep the IG.
Yo, chill out,
Add
bro.
my voice. Add my boy
Yo,
Babster,
you
right?
can't even add people on Hinge, bro. You just gotta, that shit just there for the comedy. You feel me?
Yeah, look out for the name Sabah, bro. It's pretty unique.
Wait,
You'll see it. You'll see it in the Rochester
type
and
shit.
Brooklyn areas. Anyways, but yeah, so social media. Like, what are your thoughts on the impact of that has on people's mental well being and the way that they kind of interact with their peers and stuff like that? Because before you kind of wouldn't know what a person's highlight in their life was. Obviously, social media has been around for a long time, right? But we're kind of like truly the first generation that has um grown up with it, impacting a majority of our development. If you want to say, I forgot, millennials, I think is the generation before us.
Yeah.
They by the time social media is really taking off and stuff, they obviously had MySpace and stuff like that. But for us at
Yo,
least is
what the
where
fuck is MySpace, bro? What the hell is that shit?
yeah, well, yeah, I mean, to us it's archaic, but that's kind of
Word.
what millennials had. For them, at least, when the big boom of social media like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, things like that, when that big boom kind of arrived, they were already well into or getting into their 20s. So I guess you could think like the psychological effects of social media weren't as apparent in their generation, right? They kind of still function as normal human beings, but at least for you know at least for us, we grew up in an era of social media. So like, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
Bro, I feel like okay, so in high like for me there's like two phases, like high school and then post high school, like I'd say college and shit, but even like like post the first 2 years of college, that shit. So I would say like during high school, bro, social media was fucking brain rot, bro. Like everybody would be on that shit, posting some bullshit. They would do some like, yo, add me to your Snap story or some shit, bro. Like, and they would be like, yo, sending streaks and just doing random bullshit with social media. You feel me?
Yeah.
Um, and but like it was just straight up brain rot, bro. Not worth it. It was not worth it at all. Like it was just a time waste. But as I started getting into college and shit, like even the first 2 years, I would say it was like more like people would post like parties and they wouldn't really it wouldn't really be useful like as a networking tool. But like
Hmm.
after first 2 years of college, I started like leaning a bit more off of social media, like shit like the shit that we would normally use, like Instagram, Facebook. Not Facebook. We don't
Not
use Facebook,
Facebook.
but
Yeah.
Snapchat. Like nobody even uses Snapchat anymore. But like Instagram is one. Fucking TikTok and shit. You feel me? And
Yeah.
fucking yo. Speaking of TikTok, I'm gonna go on a little like like a little like sidetrack or some shit. You feel me? Like,
No, go for
bro,
it. Honestly, go
bro,
for it.
Instagram reels, TikTok, like Facebook reels. Yo, that shit got me like in a headlock, bro. Like
I
that
don't know
shit,
about
like
Facebook Reels. I don't know what you are, but IG Reels is
nah,
definitely funnier than TikTok. But
bro,
uh,
bro, that shit got me locked, bro. Like, bro, that shit's such a fucking like time waste, bro. Like sometimes I find myself just deleting the app, bro, because I'll just be finding like it's just scrolling for hours, bro. And that type like that type of social media, that shit spread to Amazon Reels, fucking LinkedIn Reels, like yo, LinkedIn Reels, like what, bro? Fucking Netflix shit, like bro, what the fuck is up with like
it's shorts
30,
brain rot,
yeah,
right?
the short, yeah, exactly. It's just straight up brain rot, bro. It's like,
I'm
bro,
put on my tinfoil hat just for a moment here, but I feel like this is a type of social conditioning to make our attention spans as terrible as possible. Who knows
exactly,
for what
bro.
nefarious purposes, but that's what I can think of,
Now we
honestly.
could talk about that next time, bro. You feel me? What type of
Yeah,
nefarious
if you don't
purposes
go
they
missing.
serving? OD. Yeah, but okay. Let me come back. Let me come back. So like the last 2 years of college, I've been leaning more off of social media. I don't really care about like my main account. I cut off like a lot of people, like people who are like back from high school and shit. Like I just follow them just because. But now
Mhm.
like on my social media, I only have people like I know in real life and shit, and people who I know I could trust, people who I know that are like going somewhere in life. You know what I'm saying? Like people who I could
Mhm.
actually work with, and actually
Yeah.
like better my future with them.
Yeah.
People who have the same mindset as me, people who also grind and hustle and shit like that. So if you keep those type of people around you, like you yourself, you're gonna absorb their mindset and you're gonna actually like one day hopefully become successful, whether it's on your own or whether it's with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's I would always say like it's best to keep your circle small, and yeah,
What would you
that's what I
say?
would say about social
Yeah.
media.
And what about
Oh,
like the idea of what advice would you give to people who frequent social media, right? And it kind of impacts them in such a way that like they need to understand that um at least for most cases social media is whatever you choose, whatever the user choose to put like to plaster all over their profile, right? So
uh-huh.
do you believe that like people the reason like it's good to just wean yourself off of it is because you compare your lowlights to other people's highlights, right? Like when you were looking at someone's profile and you're seeing their story or something like that and they're going to these places doing these things, it seems like life is all fine and dandy and it's all
Yeah,
great and stuff
exactly.
like
But
that, right?
bro,
And
that
then you
shit
come
exactly. No, bro, like whatever people are posting and shit, like for 99% of the shit you see on social media is fake, bro. Like I'm gonna straight up like be honest with you. Like I've seen behind the scenes or shit like that. Like you feel me? Like motherfuckers be posting like day in the life of this and that, and they be posting flicks over like a whole week, acting like yo, this is my day in the life. Like you feel me? Like shit
yeah.
actually get me, like, like like this shit is actually like fucking fake, bro. Never let like somebody's like, oh, I fucking do this and that. I got this and that. Like you know what I'm saying? Never let that shit fucking discourage you, bro. Because at the end of the day, whatever the fuck they're doing, that shit don't matter. That shit probably fake anyways. But like your own life, that shit is real, and you gotta focus on you, and you gotta focus on how am I gonna better myself today, how am I gonna grind today, how am I gonna hustle today, how am I gonna thug it out, you feel me,
Hmm.
today type
Well, I
shit.
mean, not thug it out technically, okay? Because the fact that we're discussing and we're having this conversation is a kind of a testament to like not bottling up the things that bother us in life, because that's the point. I mean, studying for the MCAT, I was doing the psychology section, sociology section, right?
Uh-huh.
And one thing, and this is where you wrap science back into it. There's kind of a response, a psychological response called tend and befriend, or tend to befriend, I guess is what it's called. The response is basically women are more likely to talk about their problems and find others to console them or help console them, right? And that's related to the neuro. I don't know if it's a neurotransmitter. No, I've stopped studying because I'm bored, right? It's
Nah,
bad for
what's up
me,
with you,
but
bro? Nah,
but the
you
neuro
gotta get on the MCAT shit again, bro.
I
Come on.
know. It's like it's
Nah,
either
man.
a neurotransmitter or a hormone. I believe. I think it's neurotransmitter oxytocin. I believe it's that one that's related. That's higher levels of it are present in women, during stressful situations and things like that. And so because of that, it's linked to higher levels of oxytocin. Is linked to, like women's propensity to solve problems together. Like to talk it out, to converse, right, to avoid thugging it out. And I feel like that's something we kind of definitely have to pick up on, as young men, that it's not a taboo to be discussing these things with each other because it's kind of necessary. Because if not us, right, if not like the young men in the community, right, that are listening to each other, who else will? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I
So like,
definitely get what you're
yeah.
saying here.
So yeah, let's segue into family probably. Family is an important part, especially from the culture that we come from, at least as Bengalis. We gotta keep family close, keep family tight, and that never cross family, I guess. But so you have a bigger family than I do, and you're the only brother, right?
Yeah, the
So
only son, yeah.
the only son. So you tell me about that kind of dynamic. How's that? How that impact your life, the way you grew up and things like
Bro,
that.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. So I got three other sisters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up in like a woman dominated household. So like I guess you could say I'm more, I don't want to say I'm more feminine, bro, but I feel like I could like low key
You picked up
understand.
some qualities and traits,
Yeah,
kinda.
you could say that. Yeah, exactly. Some qualities and traits type shit. I guess you could say that. But also being like the only son and shit, I guess that shit has its perks. Like, it's not like I get the most love and shit, but like, my mom be loving me more type shit than my sisters. But my dad loves my sisters more, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But but like it's also like, it adds on pressure because being the only son, like I'm kind of like I'm the one who has to, take care of my parents once I grow up and once they become old and shit. Like it's just like I guess it's a desi thing it's expected of the son to take care of the parents once they become old and everything like that. Like the parents would move in with the son and they take care of them. And even now, like uh, once I get my job and stuff, like it's expected of me to like take care of all of my parents' finances and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it, it's all right. So it has, I guess you could say, it has its perks in it, but it also has some of its downsides. But I wouldn't really call them downsides. It's just like, it's normal shit. Like shit. Like I wouldn't mind supporting my parents, bro. Like they raised me for like like fucking 21 years of my life, basically. So like it's the least I could do.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, going back to this, right? Do you personally, I don't this not I don't feel like this is the same dynamic that I have at least. Do you see your parents as like an available emotional support system? Like is that outlet? I mean, obviously like they're your parents, they can
Uh,
they probably provide you with like all the basic needs and all the needs you need, but on an emotional like thing, like emotional
on an
level kind of,
emotional, yeah, nah, I
yeah,
wouldn't
you
say.
don't
I
see it,
wouldn't.
right? It's
I
because,
definitely do. But you know
yeah.
who I do see as like some type of emotional support, bro? Like my older sister, my brother-in-law. Like whenever I'm dealing with some shit, I would
Yeah.
always go to them too, and they always try their best to help me out and shit. Like I love them, like from the bottom of my heart, bro. Like yo, Aishapu, if you watching this, yo, just so you know, like I fucking love you on some real shit. Like the day you got married, like even during my speech, yo, Farhan, you were there too. Like you feel me? Like it felt like a lot. Like I lost a part of myself. That was in the speech. You know what I'm saying? Like I that felt like crying and shit because I
I don't
grew up
think
with
you
it.
dead felt like crying. I think you actually did cry.
Yo, chill out, bro. Chill out.
Yeah.
Yo, TMI, bro. I ain't crying, bro. Come on, now. You feel me? Uh, but yeah, she a real
Okay.
one, bro. Yeah, she a
The
real
thing
one,
is,
bro.
like, you wouldn't really blame them for that, though, right? Because I wouldn't really say that it's kind of like it's like a cross cultural thing, right? And
Yeah,
one thing I did, well, I listened to a lot of like different podcasts and stuff like that. And one of the things that someone, I forgot which podcast it was, that brought this up is that more now more than ever, as a group of people, as a group of individuals, as a society, right? We are less focused on basic needs and survival and more on mental survival and stuff. Like for most the majority of human history, at least, you weren't too concerned with what was going on in your head, right?
yeah.
Because you were
Because
struggling to make ends meet. You had to buy food to feed your family. You had to work long hours. You didn't have the time to sit there and think about what's going on with you, right? But now
yeah,
things have become really easy in terms of that, for most people at least. And for at least for the first world countries, individuals that live in first world countries, that's why you can see a rapid rise in um, bad mental states, in negative mental health and things like that, because now more than ever, people are realizing that if that we need to think about our mental health more than ever before, right? So do you think it's like a cross cultural shift, the fact that you were brought up in a first world country, I guess, and that our
yeah,
parents.
100%, man. Because where our parents came from, bro, fucking Bangladesh, bro. Like mental health basically did not exist. It still does not exist. Like mental health awareness, like people, like if you have a mental illness, right? I would say, majority of people who are like uneducated, they would straight up assume it's some supernatural stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
they basically, like, I'm not trying to bash the country or anything, but people who are uneducated, they lack the knowledge to actually like know what proper mental health is, and it's kind of a problem actually. But I do know that a lot of Gen Z people who are our age, they're actually trying to raise like awareness on this issue, that hey, mental health is something serious. And going back to Bangladesh, I also want to talk about, like, the uprising, the quota protests and everything that happened. And people our age were able to overthrow a dictator for 15 years, man. Like that's something, we ought to be proud of, bro. Like being a part of that generation, bro, like makes me really proud, man. that we actually have power to shape our futures and stuff like that.
That's the thing though. The strength, I guess, the power of younger generations is definitely something the establishment fears.
Exactly, bro.
It's a
Yeah,
big thing.
100%. Yeah,
I'm gonna put a tinfoil hat on again. The attention span thing we talked about earlier. I feel like that's a really big implication for future generations. This is how
exactly.
you
We
weaken.
can't let the brain rot get to us, bro. You feel me?
Yeah, I
Like
mean, yeah, this is how you weaken a nation by targeting its youth. Simple, really.
exactly, bro. Yeah, because well, I guess the youth of the future and shit. You fuck up the future generation, the country won't have no future. You feel me?
Yeah, exactly. That's the reason why I've
Yeah,
catered this
exactly.
podcast to understanding the psyche of young adults and the younger generations of our country, our peers, and everyone. And so I guess we can do like the final component that I mentioned in the very first episode of the podcast, which is spiritual health. The most often forgotten aspect, of overall health. People think overall health only consists of kind of this dualistic approach of physical and mental health, but I believe, and a lot of other people believe as well, that there's a three kind of triune setup where it's spiritual, physical, and mental health. And spiritual health nowadays, at least, is on the decline for a lot of people, and it's been ignored for a lot of people. So, in terms of spiritual health, what do you think you kind of rank on that? Like, are you like religious? Are you spiritual? Like, you know.
Like I'm gonna be honest with you. So Alhamdulillah, I'm Muslim, bro. But
Mhm.
I'm not the best Muslim, and I have a lot to improve on. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna gas myself up like that. But being a part of the this community, I met a lot of good people.
Mhm.
And I met a lot of brothers, people who I would consider my brothers. I gotten closer with them, gotten closer with my dean, and honestly, getting closer with Allah, and my dean, it helped me a lot. It helped me get through like a lot of personal struggles that I was going through. Like sometimes, some shit I'd be going through, I can't really like tell anybody, right?
Mhm.
I'd be a private, I like to keep my problems to myself. But you have to tell somebody. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
sometimes you just gotta tell Allah, yo, I'm going through it. You know what I'm saying? Like I need you. You know what I'm saying? This
Yeah.
so he could come down, help you out and stuff
But
like that. Not come down, but like he could give you guidance and stuff like that and help you out.
yeah. So
And
you think that mentality is kind of what keeps you grounded in a way as well? You think, like, would you consider that something that everyone should be like partaking in, like that type of community that you said you're feeling? Like, you think they should be part of a faith group and trying to you
I
know,
mean, I would say everybody is different,
yeah.
but you could always give it a chance. Just see if it works for you. If it doesn't, you don't have to be a part of it. If it does, if you see that, hey, being a part of this larger community, being around people that I know will support me and everything like that, it's something nice to be a part of, honestly, knowing that you're not alone. And yeah, I would say just give it a shot.
Yeah,
It
I
doesn't hurt
agree.
to try, I would say.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's just like a lot of the time it's just people lack community. Our society nowadays is very individualistic, and it's all about me,
Exactly.
right? Yeah.
I don't really like that like individualism.
Mhm.
It's like we're meant to be like we're meant to be social animals. Let's create a collective society where all of us could benefit from each other instead of just one of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I well, I think that was a great place to end it off. To be honest, we can definitely build on it. Um,
Definitely, man.
looking forward to episode three, which is unfortunately the guest for episode three was unfortunately spoiled by the
My
co-host here,
fault,
but
my fault, guys. I didn't mean to spoil it. But
but
trust me,
yeah,
bro. Himansh is one of the funniest people I know. That's my bro for life right there. You feel me? Yo, Himansh really the bro. I love him, bro. Yo, he's also, he met like not no homo shit. You feel me? But he cute. He a fat he fashionable type. You feel me? Bro into fashion and shit. He's tough, bro. Yo,
All right, leave some for the rest. Leave some for the next
wait, wait,
episode, man.
yeah.
Yeah,
I can't spoil it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
know
Too
you
much.
got your feet up in there, kicking your feet, and
Yeah,
then
how'd
thinking
you
about.
know, bro? How'd you know? How'd you know, man? Yeah, it's talking about it much, yeah.
All
But
right, so thanks for joining me today,
of
Sabab. I
course, man. Thanks
appreciate
for
you.
having me, man. Yo, my fault, because the chat won't like the guys won't know this shit, but my Farhan here, he's been trying like 2 weeks, bro, trying to get me on recording and shit. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully, as things start settling down, we could get into a more of a regular schedule and start uploading episodes more and more
Mm-hmm.
frequently.
Yep, inshallah.
Inshallah, bro. Yeah.
All right, and with that, I'd like to tell all of our viewers, let's continue to talk, let's continue to converse, let's continue to have dialogues and avoid thugging it out. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Peace.